Hello guys, this is a 1999 Chevy Silverado 1500. Customer complaint is the cluster doesn't work, and of course, being a GM, this is a very common problem, that RPM gauge doesn't work, and then temperature, the fuel as well. So but here's the interesting thing: the brake light, the battery light is on, and my voltage, the system voltage is okay. I already checked it. My battery is good, the alternator is good, the starter is good. Let's see, here's my you can see that. Got 14.3 volts. So my charging system is okay, but I hook up my scan tool, and it's pretty cool. Look at the voltage. This is a cluster. I'm sorry guys. I hook up my scan tool to a cluster, and this is what I got. My voltage on the cluster is all over the place. Anywhere from 4 volts to only up to like 8 volts or something. So let's see if I can do a draft here. There you go. There's my battery voltage, and it's just everywhere from like 4 volts up to like 8.6. So this is definitely my problem. Now this cluster has 4 fuses that gives the power, and let's see, there's 3 fuses on the side. I'm sorry, and I already checked all of the one that I highlighted. Those are my fuses. I got 3 on the side panel in the fuse box. I got I'll check all of those. They're all good, and also got one under the hood. It's for the radio, but also it's what went right there. So if I have an issue like this, I like to check before I start taking things apart. I like to check my fuses, make sure they are not blow or anything. So fuses are okay. So the next step will be to pull the cluster out and do some voltage. Let's see what we got. Okay guys, I got the cluster removed, and actually some of my gauges got back. I got a temperature back, got a fuel. Let's see if the oil pressure is going to work. Let's see. Sorry. Okay. So now my voltage goes all over the place. I'm wiggling my harness in the back, and it goes now to 7 volts. 11, 9. Huh. And I have a battery voltage. And everything's actually working. I was thinking maybe it's a bad cluster, but it just didn't have a. My RPM is back. Fuel gauge works. Oil pressure, my temperature, everything is working. There's something down here, it's messed up. I'm not sure, is it a bad connector or and my my battery light is out. So now I'm good here. Wiggling the my connector now seems to be okay. Unplug it. Let's see. Looks okay now. Well, connector seems to be okay. I don't see anything that's any of the tabs. They're broken inside, and the cluster itself, all the pins are there, none of them bent. see nothing there either. What I'm gonna do, probably just maybe take a needle and just kind of try to push these tabs, kind of get them, tighten them down a little bit, and see if that's gonna take care of the problem. Obviously I have a problem with my connector. It's I'm getting voltage to my battery, to my harness, but looks like inside of the connector I'm having an issue. So I'm just gonna start this, push these pins a little bit and see if that's gonna take care of the problem. Okay guys, I pushed these pins a little bit, just ever so slightly, like a spring loaded or something, so I just kind of pushed them a little bit toward the middle. I didn't want to mess around too much with it, but let's see if it's going to take care of the problem. It's kind of hard to see it, but it's just little tabs on the side, basically, that give the contact to connector inside the cluster. So let's see if this is going to work or not. It's hard to do with one hand, but I think that's it. Yeah, let me take care of this first. Okay, sorry, I had to use two hands. I didn't want to damage my connector, so I got it plugged in, and let's see what happens now. Okay, everything seems to be working. And now I'm gonna wiggle the connector to make sure if it's gonna go bad or not. No? Looking good. Let me see my scan tool. If my voltage is stable on it, that's kind of what concerns me the most. That's my voltage there. I'm going to wiggle the connector again and see if I'm going to have any dropouts. Yep, still 11. I'm moving my wires now, the harness. Well, I'm happy with this. I think we'll be fine. I mean, I'm pushing and I'm pulling. I'm doing everything that I can to duplicate the problem, but it's gone. So, yeah. All right. Let me put this together and see what happens. Okay, I've got the cluster back together. My voltage is good. I got battery voltage on it, system voltage. Everything seemed to be okay. I'm pushing on it, nothing happens. My voltage, I'm gonna push on the cluster. You guys can see my voltage stays. I'm gonna knock on it. A little bit fluctuation, but it's okay. Well, it's pretty good, pretty stable right now. So I'm gonna call this fixed for now. It may be, you know, maybe a board on the cluster itself that's losing connection intermittently, but so far it's holding up pretty good. I'm really hitting it big time on it, but I'm happy with this. It's not dropping as much as it used to. Okay guys, well, it's been a couple of days now. I didn't want to finish the video. I just want to make sure the cluster is going to be okay, and as you can see, everything is working. All the gauges are working, everything is fine. That battery light is gone. So I think this was a good example when cluster is doing something that's not logical, or not a cluster, just any module, any computer is doing something that's not logical. So in order to diagnose that issue, we need to check power and ground and input to the computer to see what's happening. I could easily misdiagnose this, and I honestly thought, as I stated at the beginning of the video, that this is basically a bad cluster, having all these gauges that didn't work. And this is the very first time I've seen one that has the power issue. And the reason we had a battery light on is because of that power that was supposed to power our gauges was also input to our module. And that's why the cluster was giving us the message that we have a problem with the charging system, even though we had I checked the battery and the alternator, everything was okay. And also didn't mention that we could see that my battery gauge was reporting 14 volts. But I didn't really know if I can trust it because no other gauges were operational, so I didn't really trust it much. But I did check my voltage and my charging and all that, so everything was okay. And now the proper procedure for this would be to check every power and every ground on the module that you are testing on. This one has a 4 power wires, 4 wires that supply the power and 2 wires that supply the ground. But I didn't really didn't think I need that, because as I was doing the wiggle test and when I was communicating with the module, I could see that the input, the power was not there. So as I was wiggling my harness, I could see that I'm getting my power back. So I knew that, also I could have maybe broken wire somewhere. So as I was moving the harness, there could be a wire that was partially broken that I couldn't find it. But as I get closer to the cluster, as I was moving my connector, I could see changes on my module that is getting the correct power. And that's all I want to say, guys. Again, I would very easily misdiagnose this. I could send this cluster to be rebuilt because of the gauges that didn't work, and I had never seen one like this. And every time I seen a GM cluster this condition is because of the bad gauges. The stepper motors inside the cluster are gone. So okay, guys, and I think this is all I want to say in this video. Please subscribe to my channel, and thanks for watching, and see you next time. Bye.